You want to run a marathon, this is absolutely everything you need to know to go from 0 to 42.2 kilometers from a guy who has ran 8 marathons in the last 9 months, including one ultra as well. I'm going to just break down absolutely everything you need completely for free. So starting off straight away, schedule. How many times a week do you want to be training? 3 to 5 runs per week is what I would say. I don't think you need any more than 5. I think that's excessive. I think any less than 3 is not enough at all. And then run types, it's going to be easy runs, tempo, and then long runs. You can do like intervals as well for like your VO2 max and your speed, but these are the run types that I stick to when I train for a marathon or an ultra, whatever it is. And how many you're going to do is dependent on how many times a week you train. So obviously if you train 3 times a week, you'll just do 1 of each. But say you train 5 times a week, you'll do 3 easy, 1 tempo, and 1 long, because this is what's very taxing on your body. These are going at an easy pace and not actually causing any damage. So if you are going to train 5, or if you are going to train 6 times a week, do easy runs. Don't be doing any more than 1 of these. Accessories, you're gonna want running shoes. You're not gonna fucking run them without them, Jesus, unless you want to severely damage your joints and your feet. What running shoes do I have? These aren't necessarily the best, but I use Hoka. They're good, but they're not, insane. I use Hoka Clifton 9s. I find that they are the best shoe that I've used to cover a lot of long distances. I still use them. I've clocked an insane amount of miles of them. They're incredibly durable. You want Vaseline that is just to put on parts of your body that might rub together. For me, I've got fairly large legs. I put it in the part of my inner thighs so I don't because I've paid the price before. When I haven't, you get a horrendously bad rash and it fucks you up. You want running gels. These, I don't know if you've seen them before, they're the little gels you take when you're running. It's like 30 grams of carbs per tube. You just take one. On the second half of the race, really, though, you want solid food to start with. You want a hydration pack. And this is just something that you wear on your back, and it's normally got a big thing, 1.5, 2 litre thing of water that you can have, and you can use it on your long runs to practice hydration and eating and just taking everything you need. And I could recommend to you like a Garmin watch or anything like that, but I'm not going to because they're fucking expensive and you don't really want one for your first marathon, because I didn't have one. What you do want is Strava, which is a free running app that you could download that every single runner uses. I used to use Night Run Club and I used to be loyal to Night Run Club until I discovered Strava. It is much better, because what this is going to allow you to do is save you spending loads of money on a fucking watch when you could just use Strava to track your distance and your pace and everything like that. I've used it forever. It's an incredibly good app. And for accessories, that's all you really need. You don't want to overcomplicate it. You don't want to drop thousands of pounds when you haven't even run one before, because ultimately the training matters more than any of this. This is just stuff that you can and sort of do need to know. And these are quite basic as well. This isn't anything crazy. The marathon advice is don't neglect long runs, because these are the closest things you are going to get to a marathon, and it's where you're going to practice things like the running gels and eating, and all of your race day marathon things are going to come on a long run. So don't neglect it, because that tells me that you don't have the mindset to run a marathon. You want anywhere from 40 to 60 grams of carbs an hour when you're running the marathon, because your body runs on carbs. It's your primary energy source. And if you do not eat carbs, you are going to crash very early, and you arguably probably won't finish the race because you're going to be running on no fuel at all. The amount of carbs you have depends. I'd probably get closer to 40, to be honest, because if you're a beginner, because if you haven't really practiced eating and you haven't ran marathons before, if you have too many carbs, you'll just shit yourself and your stomach will be absolutely ruined. You need to practice behavior. And what I mean by this is things like the carbs, things like running with the hydration pack, things like the Vaseline, your running shoes. All of that should be practiced on your long runs, because you need to learn how to do it. You need to understand what works for you for running the marathon, because if you don't practice it, you don't want to be doing anything new on race day. That is a piece of advice that every runner will tell you. Break the distance. I do this is more of a recent thing, but I find it helps significantly more if I break the race down into, say, 10.5k times 4. So you just think of it as like 4 10.5k loops instead of 0 to 42. I know the title of this is 0 to 42, but mentally, you just want to think of it like that. 10.5 times 4, or you can do 5.75 times 8, I believe that's right, or you can do even 21 times 2 is better than doing 0 to 42. That's not what you want to be doing, because it just creates this massive race in your mind. Whereas if you break it down, you can even break that down even further and do like 2.75 or 2.5 times 4 with 500 meters at the end. You know, it's all about the mind. It's all about breaking the mind down. And this is the point that just came to my head. Train your mind. If you fail to train your mind, you're going to struggle with all of this. But I focused on this luckily early enough, before I'd even really ran the marathons, is I'd always focused on doing hard things to train my mind and to become mentally stronger. And if you can become very mentally strong, you can cut out a lot of this and just run it on pure willpower and discipline. But obviously, I'm not saying don't do that, because that will be absolute hell. Because discipline and mindset is found in all of this, in the training, in the actual build-up to the marathon. And every time you're neglected going on a long run, saying, oh, you know, I'll just miss it this week and I've trained hard, you are weakening this. You are weakening your mind. And that is not what we're going to be doing. It's a very slippery slope to go down. Don't neglect your mind. And then my final point is accept and love their pain. I have only more recently came to realise this, is I absolutely love the significant pain that running long distances puts me in. It's a really nice, weird feeling. Like when you've finished a marathon and you're absolutely fucked, there is not a better feeling in the world, and that is actually like the reward to me of running the marathon. Except, especially because it's your first, it's gonna suck, it's gonna be hard, but learn to love it, because it is pain that is a result of your hard work and accomplishment. I believe I haven't missed anything out. I tried to do this all off the top of my head, so I apologise if I have missed it out. 0 to 42.2 kilometers, but in general, this is absolutely everything you need. You don't really, in my opinion, need much more than this, unless you're obviously an elite runner. But this isn't for elite runners. This is if you're going from 0. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to learn absolutely everything about getting into peak health, which is going to in turn help you run a marathon, there's going to be a link in the description. Or if you want to fix your lifestyle, and I can help you run a marathon as well, if that's your goal, I'll work with you for 90 days, one-to-one. There's also a link in the description for that. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found some value from it, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.